What's up and welcome back, and today I am going to be sharing with you my predictions for the 2026 Australian Grand Prix, the first race of this season. I would like to say that as it is the first race of the season and it is one of the biggest regulation changes we've had to date, that you should take these predictions with a huge pinch of salt, because I'm probably going to get these predictions so wrong by the time the actual Grand Prix rolls around that I'm just going to be looking back laughing at it. So before we get into my actual predictions, I will just say this, that I'm going to make this series a regular occurrence on this channel. Pretty much every race, every race week I'm going to make a prediction, and for every prediction I'm going to rank the top 10 in quali, we've got the top 10 in the race too, and I'm going to go over how I think the race will go slightly, especially with like the top teams mostly. But this whole thing is just supposed to be a bit of fun, by the way. I'm not going to go like in depth with anything. I'm also going to be predicting the driver of the day, who I think the driver of the day will be, and I'm going to be adding up the standings after every single one of my predictions. So obviously right now it's just going to be my race predictions. It's going to be the current standings in my prediction world, but once the second race rolls around, I'm going to do my predictions then, and we'll add them up and see what my true standings are for the whole season, and we're going to keep doing it every race. And obviously it's going to get more accurate as time goes on, because like I said, right now it's impossible to predict where anyone's going to be. Alright, first is the top 10 for quali, and I have got Kimi Antonelli 10th, Ollie Bearman 9th, Pierre Gasly 8th, Isaac Hadjar 7th, Charles Leclerc 6th, Lewis Hamilton 5th, Max Verstappen 4th, and for the top 3 I have gone Lando Norris, George Russell, and then Oscar Piastri will get pole in Australia in his home race. It's going to be mainly based off of, vibes, because obviously Mercedes are rumoured to be the fastest and they seem to have the best engine, but McLaren have a Mercedes engine as well, and they were Constructors' Champions last year, so they've definitely got the money. But it is safe to say that Mercedes is looking stronger than McLaren at the moment, but I think that Oscar Piastri is going to just put a really good lap in. You might think that I've rated Ferrari a bit low, but I have put Lewis Hamilton ahead of Leclerc because I think Leclerc won't perform the best he could maybe, and Lewis Hamilton will. And I've also gone for the Red Bulls pretty high up there. I think all 4 teams are going to be pretty similar. They're all going to have their strengths and weaknesses. But yeah, I think Oscar Piastri will take pole. And to explain why Kimi Antonelli is down in 10th, where he should probably have been like 7th or 6th, I predict that he will crash in Q3. Now, the next day in the race, I have got Carlos Sainz 10th, Ollie Bearman 9th, Isaac Hadjar 8th, Lewis Hamilton 7th, Charles Leclerc 6th, Kimi Antonelli 5th, George Russell in 4th, and I'll explain that later. And for the podium slots, who picks up 3rd, I have gone with Lando Norris. 2nd place, I've got Max Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri 1st, which means for the first time he wins his home race, and for the first time an Australian wins their home race. So this guy is going to break history. He isn't. This is my prediction. It's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I think at some point in this race, George Russell will, let's just say Osama bin Russell into the back of someone and destroy his front wing. So he'll have to pit and he'll end up behind. He will manage to make it up to 4th place in quite a good drive, I think, but that still means that the podium will be Mercedes-less. Sounded better in my head. Also from the start, I think Verstappen will overtake Norris early laps, hence why he got 2nd place in my prediction. I think that Kimi Antonelli will get a good start, and that's why he'll be able to get into 5th. He'll also, I think he'll have some pretty good strategy maybe, and like undercut some people. And yeah, I think Sainz will come from like 12th in quali and find himself a 10th place. And I do think that Gasly might drop down a bit, Alpine will be in shock from being this good, and they might fumble like something like a pit stop or something. And I think Ollie Bearman will actually cook, he'll do really well for Haas. I have faith in Ollie Bearman this year. And yeah, Isaac Hadjar's going to finish 8th place. I don't think he's going to really do anything crazy. He's just going to put in a good enough race to get 8th. Still maybe not what Red Bull would have wanted, seeing as his teammate's going to be in 2nd, but they're probably going to breathe a sigh of relief after seeing Tsunoda's performance from last year. I also have another prediction, and this is kind of like my wild prediction for this race. It's like I'll do a wild card prediction every race, and this is it. I think that there's going to be no DNFs from crashes this race. I think all the DNFs are going to be car related technical issues, you know, and I'm predicting that at least one Cadillac and one Aston Martin are going to have to retire their car. I don't think that Aston Martin is going to have to retire their car before the race or whatever. People are saying that they're going to do a formation lap and then retire their cars. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that Aston Martin have a strong enough foundation for that not to happen. I still have no hope for them at this point of the season, but I don't think that they're that bad yet. I can still see them obviously both finishing bottom 15. But my predictions for driver of the day, it's between two, realistically. It's either going to be Piastri or Antonelli. I could see them both making it because Antonelli's going to make up 5 places from quali, but he's going to have the car to do it. And Piastri is obviously going to get his first home race win of his career. So that might be a reason for everyone to vote him driver of the day. Although he did qualify in first, which can kind of make me lean a bit more to Antonelli getting it. I think that there could be a midfield masterclass in there, like Colapinto could get driver of the day. But I think for now, if I had to pick a driver of the day, I'm going to go with Piastri. I'm going to say Piastri gets the driver of the day. I'm glazing this guy. Listen, I'm a sucker for a home race win. I really think Piastri's got it this year. I think that he is going to lock in and get it if he's got the car. I'm not sure if McLaren have got the car, but I think people are definitely sleeping on McLaren. So yeah, that was my Australia predictions. Bit of a short one, but that's kind of what these things are supposed to be, only a few minutes. So to recap, I've got Lando Norris third, George Russell second, and Oscar Piastri pole on quali. And the race podium, I've got Lando Norris third, Max Verstappen second, and Oscar Piastri first. I think that Verstappen is going to cook this race. He's just not going to really have the best car. He's probably going to have the 4th best car on the grid, if we're being honest. And my driver of the day is Piastri, with the wildcard prediction being that there's no DNFs from crashes. One more thing before I go. Here is my F1 bingo card. So I'm not going to go through it, but pause if you want to read it. Hopefully I'll be crossing them off as the season goes, and maybe we can even get a bingo. Anyway, thanks for watching. I might make a video on a recap of the Australian Grand Prix versus my predictions versus reality, you know. I might do one of those, or I might actually do that at the start of my next predictions ranking. I think that's a better idea. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, I am super excited for this Australian Grand Prix. We are all waking up at 4 AM to watch this Grand Prix. It is going to be lit. Anyway, thanks for watching up to this point, and I'll see you after the Australian Grand Prix. Bye bye.